morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are. Welcome back to the Three Spurs Boys, and sneaking in with Brian Dagul here. Got my co-host over here, Brian Dagul, which is normally not in the co-host seat because normally it's that guy or Kuva99, but Brian is back in Canada, so this is a Canadian takeover.
I'm done.
What's up, fellas? Little Archie, where did you go? Little Archie. As you can see, I'm joined by my two of my favorite people in the community, of course, always supporting the channel, always helping me out. So, Brian, Ben, how are you, fellas? I know we were just over on Ben's show together, but Ben, unfortunately, we are going to be talking about
I'm done.
football. Sorry. It's hard, but we are doing a football show, and there is one person that always likes to come in and talk about football, and that's the sheriff. So you can't leave the sheriff sitting back there. And we get to say happy belated birthday to him finally. Happy belated birthday, Sheriff. How you doing, buddy?
Very well. I only just saw the link, Bobby.
Yeah, we were just over on the coffee company there together, all of us, and Brian said, "You know what? Let's pop up. Let's do something together. We don't get an opportunity to stream, obviously, the last 10 months, roughly, Brian."
Best part of it, well, I flew on October the 9th back home. Sorry, November the 9th. And I flew home on October the 2nd. So almost 11 months.
11 months already. Big up, Jose. How you doing, man? Love this guy, man. Great guy. Big Barcelona fan. Got a great channel as well. Always putting out good content. Just a lovely human being, man. So, Mark, what's happening, buddy? How you been? How was your birthday, man, first off?
It was the same as like any other day, innit? There's not a lot happened. I had a nice steak for my tea, a few mushrooms.
Well, that's not like every other day then, buddy, is it? You don't have a steak every day. No. At least you treated yourself and you enjoyed your special day, my man.
Yeah. Well,
I know what you mean, though. As we get older, it's just like, it's just another day,
yeah,
man.
It is. Yeah. Every day's like the same, isn't it?
Yeah, you get to a certain point where you don't want them to come anymore, right? Because I'm at that point now because I'm, 2.5 years away from the big 5-0 here, and I'm happy to stop right here. It doesn't mean I want to, never be around, but I think I'll take a break for now.
I'm 3 years the other side of that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big one for me. Big up, Iggy, brother.
It links in the group, Iggy. If you want to pop on, if you're free, my man, you're always welcome.
Good
this one's a big
morning.
It's
a thing, buddy. If you want to shoot me a message, you want to jump in with some Spurs fans. We're just gonna be talking about, you're a guy that knows about everything about every team. So, you're always welcome to join us. Big up, Daniel. Good to see you, my man. And Dan, good morning to you, man. Afternoon to you, my man. Good to see you guys. We do have a few things we're going to talk about. We're going to actually talk about Tottenham and stuff like that. So as it stands right now with the injury concerns, this is what we do know right now. There is no Solomon, no to Perisic, no to Johnson, Bentancur, Cesc, Lo Celso are all 100% out of this game. Maybes are Madison and Hill. And I didn't add Sonny in there because although we know he's carrying a knock, we're going to talk about that separately. So, guys, how badly is this list when you look at it? How badly does that affect us? Brian, I'll start with you.
Right. Well, like we were talking with Ben Daniel yesterday, Bentancur, you could pretty much say he's on the other side of it. He's on the way back.
Andrew.
He's big up Colin, my man. I love that man. And Lee, Colin, good morning to you, sir, or good afternoon to you, should I say, Anthony.
Where is Colin?
Colin's in Wales.
He's in Wales. Okay, well, good afternoon.
Great supporter of Tottenham on tour. Fantastic supporter. Love that man.
Come on over here to support Brian over here. Appreciate that, Colin.
So always good to see him. As I say, you look at it. Bentancur's on the way back. Perisic, we know, forget it. He's out for the seat, or majority of it.
Yeah, I think Perisic is done for the rest of his career.
Yeah,
I think we're saying that.
That's the end of it.
But you look at it, I think the problem is we all said at the start of the season, once the window's shut, we're a couple of injuries away from a major problem, strength and depth wise. And I think I would honestly say, if you were to ask 10 Spurs fans, I think at least 8 of them would say, yeah, I'm more concerned about that happening in defence.
Yeah.
Because then it's like the likes of Davies, Dyer, blah, blah, blah. but it's happened to the forward. And unfortunately, it looks like it's happening to the left-sided forwards. And obviously, Son, who we're talking about separately. Johnson should be back after international duty. Perisic's done. Solomon's going to be a big miss.
Morning, buddy.
Solomon is that player that offers something different. He may not be at the wonderful start, but he's got that rapid change of pace, change of direction, and can have a huge difference as an impact sub. And we saw against Sheffield United in the first half, they couldn't live with him. But it is a concern. It is a concern.
Yeah.
Pick it up from there, Benny. Keep going.
I mean, Sonny's got a groin strain, which I would know quite.
Well, keep Sonny out of this one for now, right? Keep Sonny out of your mouth.
No, that's my Sonny. I talk about my Sonny when I play.
We give Sonny a special section, baby. I know you want to talk about Sonny. Right. We give him his own banner.
Johnson, it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. We get these injuries with the tiny squad we've got. It was going to happen. It was going to happen. We should have built a better squad. It's why you build better in the preseason. It's why you build better.
Yeah.
And imagine what happens when we do get defenders out, because it's bound to happen because we're playing the same 4 defenders every game. Yeah. They're playing every game, which means one of them is going to get injured and we're going to end up with Dyer in defence or Ashley Phillips. So I'm not doubting Ashley Phillips at all because he looks like a very good young lad. He's 19 years of age and he's never played a single minute of Premier League football. You can't expect him to come into a Premier League squad and hit the ground running. It's going to take time. He's going to make mistakes. It's a worry. Lo Celso, I would have got him out the door in the summer. I know Ange wanted to give him another chance. I would have got him out the door. I don't like this guy. I don't like this player. I don't like his attitude. Sessegnon is made out of glass. Get rid of him.
He's had enough chances now.
Yeah.
There's no recovery.
He's had 10 years to get fit, and he's not fit.
How long has he been with us now? This is his 5th year.
6 years, isn't it? 6 years.
Is it 6 years this year?
I think so, yeah.
He's made like 3 appearances.
Oh, we sent him out. Where did he go out? He went out to loan. He went to Hoffenheim, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He did well in Hoffenheim.
He did well
really
there.
Well there.
Yeah. And then where? He came back and we sent him out again, didn't we?
No, we didn't. We didn't send him out again. He
hasn't been out again since. That's when he started playing and then just injury out.
I think I'd send him to Germany. I think he's doing all right over there. It's if he keeps fit.
Germany, Spain, France.
I would consider if he's fit and we are desperate for players, I would place Sessegnon as a left winger, not as a left back. Never again can we see. Because how...
It's an option.
When he was good at Fulham, which was 5-6 years ago, he plays as a left winger. So maybe give him a go at left wing if we've got injury problems. Him or Hill, but I just don't see it. I don't see him keeping fit.
Fair enough. Colin, appreciate your comment here. We're going to actually get into that in a couple of minutes here, buddy. So stick around. We're definitely going to be talking about all the players that you've named there. So, Mark, what's your thoughts on this, buddy? You know, it's a long list, but they're not the ones that really impact our first team, but enough to now that a couple of first teams are missing, these are the guys supposed to step in, and we can't rely on them either right now. So
no. Well, it's like Ben just said. Like, how many games has Sess actually played for us since he's been here?
That's what I'm wondering. You're looking at 6 years, and I think you can count them on one hand almost. You know,
yeah, I was
starts he's made, that is.
It's more. It's more than 10. I'll get you the exact number. Here
we go.
You know this. The answer to this, big up, Ricky. Good to see you, my man. Anybody know how long Madison is out for, or is it just a knock, right? So big up to you, my man. Big up.
Well, he's been called up into the England squad today.
Oh. Okay. So he's okay.
So maybe he's all right.
Okay.
Oh, so maybe he's all right then. That's a bit of good news. But like, our squad is just generally, it's not deep enough. It's not deep. It's the same. It's the same as when Poch was here. You know, we had the best team in the league for a couple of seasons, but the people off the bench didn't cut the mustard, and they were, the drop off was extreme. when someone
it's the
got
same
injured.
situation now, isn't it? You know,
Well,
we lose a handful of our starting 11. Like everybody
Yeah.
already knows that we lose a couple of players in defense.
Yeah.
Man, we've got major issues then.
You only got to look
like Brian already said, Davies, Dyer coming in, Phillips maybe.
Yeah. Madison got a knock the weekend, and Højbjerg coming in his place. Well, I got nothing against him, but he's not the same.
Obviously not. You go to one that's more of a defensive brick wall versus one that's arguably our best attacking option and biggest creator right now in the absence of Harry Kane. You know, Madison has filled that role in the middle of the pitch in terms of distribution and getting up and getting involved in the attack very well. So,
and I think it was Ben said on the Tottenham on Tour stream this morning that like the drop off when we do get one of the stars out, it's not a gradual drop off; it just drops off a cliff.
Okay, let me just tell you, Ryan Sessegnon, who signed for Tottenham in 2019.
Yeah, they do, Steve.
2019. How many appearances do you reckon he's made for Spurs in 4 years?
2018 in 4 years. Are we talking about full appearances or just starters? Hey, Hanno.
Just, I've got it here as appearances.
So as appearances,
that includes coming on as sub,
Here it just shows appearances.
Yeah, so that would count as substitute appearances then too, Mark. I'm gonna venture and say, does that include cup competitions? Is that all games?
It says Tottenham Hotspur appearances.
That's every game. 5 years with his injury list. I'm gonna say with his substitute appearances, I'm gonna say 43.
Okay, Mark.
I said 20 because I can't remember.
Ben.
114. You heard my answer.
The actual answer is 38.
38. Okay, so that's close.
38 in 4 years.
Yeah.
And you got to remember that for 1 year of it was in loan in Germany. So 3 years.
Yeah.
So he averages what?
13, more or less.
Yeah.
13 a year.
And that's not starts.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the rest of the time he's been on the...
Well, you think about it, 38 is basically a Premier League season.
Yeah. Because let's face it, right? I mean, 38 appearances, yeah, but you got to remember the games that he missed, it wasn't because he wasn't selected, it was because he was injured.
I think it's a bit of both, Mark.
Well,
I think it's a bit of both. But listen, I really rated him as a player at Fulham. Really rated him. I thought when we got him, okay, but he's another one that's been struck down by injury. And you got to remember, well, when Conte came in, I actually thought he was going to be our most improved player. I thought him at left wing back, which is the perfect position for him, he'd be flying. But nope.
Yeah. A lot of pace.
Nope. And then his injuries, and you can't keep carrying players.
We've already done that, and we're learning the hard way now, Brian. That we've kept players on contracts. When any other club, supposed big club, after 3-4 years, you see a rotation unless they're the major star of the club. You know, the squad players really, or the ones that are just kind of get the job done. We haven't upgraded on them, and that's why we've almost gone stale in a lot of positions. Sorry, Mark, go ahead.
Well, you have to look when Sir Alex was at Man United. It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter who you were just out the door.
Yeah.
You know, people like Beckham and Cantona, that they were all shipped off, and they were like the big stars there.
Cantona retired.
Oh, all right. So maybe
but
not.
No, you look at Jan, Ruud van Nistelrooy, David Beckham. They all tried to go toe-to-toe with the boss.
Yeah,
and there was only ever one winner.
Yeah, and that's why they were so successful, because every year they just bring a couple more in. Bit of fresh blood.
Yeah.
Hanno's asking us an interesting question here, Brian. I don't know if you want to bring this up quickly, but I don't know if maybe let's just do the club part of it. How many games has Saka thus far played? How many appearances he made for Arsenal? And he came on, really, this is his third year now that he's really kind of, solidified his starting spot. I'm going to say he's probably easily doubled what by
far, mate.
so far.
Mate, the actual answer to the question is don't care.
Yeah, that's it, Hannah. Sorry, we just don't care.
I don't mean that in a rude way to the guy.
I'm a Chelsea fan, so it's okay. You can say that. But we do. Sorry, guys, I got to stop us here for a second because we got somebody making their debut on the channel. The big man's always in the chat, always supporting the channel. He's ventured out on his own. He's got his own little show going on the Hotspur Hood now. He's been rocking it. Now he's big time now. He's rocking the shades. We're not sure if he's here to take down the World Series of Poker Champions or just add some Spurs chat, but we'll find out. Welcome, Danny. Big up, buddy.
Oh, he's in a different room now as well.
He is. He's on location.
And he's muted, so he can't respond to us. But what should we just talk about?
People, how you doing?
He's on location. What's up, Dan, bro?
What the hell's happened?
If you want to know the real facts, that has happened. I just sorted out the table outside. It was a better view than the kitchen.
There you go.
Actually, I'm glad you did that, Dan, because I haven't had breakfast yet, and it's coming up on lunchtime. So I appreciate that.
I've only just come back from the osteopath.
How you doing, Dan? Welcome to the channel, man. Appreciate you making your debut. How's things, buddy?
No, all cool, mate. I had a bit of a shady day at the osteopath and that, clicks you up in some weird positions and makes you click and that. And feel a bit better, but worse for wear for it. Probably be better tomorrow.
Yeah. The first day of the first few hours is always a little bit painful after an adjustment. I go to my chiro and I hate her and I cuss her for the first few hours, and then I'm singing her praises definitely by the next morning or next afternoon. But Kate, good afternoon to you. So Dan, we were just going over the injury list here. We're looking at who is out right now for sure. Who are the maybes? We just heard now that Maddison has been selected to the England squad, so he is more likely than a maybe. And Hill has been what's the word I'm looking for? It's been said that he's probably going to be on the bench for this game, which means he's on the road to recovery, right? So thoughts on this, buddy? How is this affecting us? Is this showing our lack of depth?
Well, one thing that definitely showed our lack of depth was that last game we played when we wanted to score goals and we wanted to come up again and we wanted to score goals and we could only bring on Skip, Højbjerg and Davis. That just about talked the whole lot for me when it comes to depth.
Yeah.
I think the one that's definitely bit a few of us on this one is nobody I know and nobody on any other show, maybe I'm wrong, has mentioned about a problem if we get injuries up front. Everyone, including myself, has always been one defender, we're out. One defender, we're in trouble. Yeah. At the moment, the defense, it is, if it's one defender, if defender goes, we're in really bad trouble. But it's happened up the other end where nobody's expected it really to happen.
Well, you got three wingers right there on that list with Solomon, Perisic, and Johnson.
Yep.
And Hill finally coming back.
Bentancur, for me, personal opinion, I don't think you're going to see much of Bentancur till January at least. I know other people think he's going to come in sooner, but I don't think he is because he's not even training properly yet. So it's going to be till at least December.
But you know what, Dan? Just quickly to you, Dan. It's actually brilliant that we've actually got the luxury of having the midfield three playing as well as they are and Højbjerg, so we don't have to go right Bentancur, get fit, get on that pitch. We're actually, for once...
Brian, this is why I had rows with how many people that I can name you two have watched. We keep Højbjerg. This is why I've been saying it the whole time. No, he's not a great player, but he's more than good enough as a squad player. Yet, as all I've heard of 90% of other Spurs fans is he's not good enough, get him out. Well, I'd rather have him played than Skip.
Yeah, I agree.
Call that opinionated, everyone to their own and that. But a lot of people say
there's nothing going forward, right? Skip comes on and you're automatically assuming that's a park the bus situation, just set up shop and hold whatever we have. Whereas with Højbjerg, he might have a little bit something to offer. He scored a few goals for us. He's made a few key passes to release players. And correct me if I'm wrong, from the Liverpool game, was he not the one that broke up the play and made the initial pass to get the ball going back in for the winner?
Højbjerg is not as bad as people make out. No, he's not a great skillful player. But if you actually check up a few of his games at Denmark as well, in Denmark, they like to use him as a DM, an MC, and also an attacking midfielder. He does cover all three places for Denmark. I'm not saying the player's great, but I'm definitely glad we got him as backup over Skip. Up front, it's definitely looking shady because I think if we're not careful, we're going to end up doing what Arsenal have done, and that's burn out.
Hey, bro, watch your language, man. I know it's your debut here. You got to watch your fucking language when you come on here, man.
What's that? You're not allowed to use that word, no?
Well, certain things that are allowed, there's certain things that aren't, all right? Can't be
man.
Can't be corrupting
it's
my
one of those
ears,
things,
man.
though. He's absolutely... Højbjerg, Strasbourg Steve said it right. Højbjerg is meh, but he's not crap. Skip is crap. Skip is crap. He is awful. I
agree with
I'm really sorry for the boy, but he's...
Højbjerg is more than good enough to be a squad player. More than good enough.
I agree with that. I'll agree with that because he is the kind of player that, especially if we get a lead, that you need to shut down shop. I'd rather have him sitting in front of the back four than a lot of our other options. You know, him and Busuma would be my first two options. I love this comment from Colin. Sorry, it's just put a giggle off my face.
Yeah,
Cliff Jones at 88 would be better to take on their wing back.
Oh, Cliffy Jones.
Jose is not a fan of Højbjerg. He's saying he's rubbish. So
he's better than Skip.
We equalized against Liverpool. He's putting pressure on Matip. Ooh. But to be fair,
one of the things Højbjerg did was he ran up the centre of the pitch, and that made like 4 Liverpool players all go to Højbjerg.
Yeah,
Started that move.
And I think a few people missed the point. The actual reason we equalised against Liverpool is because the manager called over Kulusevski and said, "Mate, you ain't doing it." Basically, with 5 attempts, he couldn't get past his man, and told Porro to go up there and cross the ball. The minute Porro goes up there, crosses the ball, nice whip ball in, could have rebounded off anyone, anytime in the back of the net. That is the reason we scored the goal.
Yeah,
in
definitely.
Opinion.
Definitely.
So for me, not because Skip was doing his thing or whatever. Yes, it's all connected, but the reason we got that goal is because Kulusevski came back because he couldn't beat his man come love nor money, and they let Porro whip the ball in. And what a cross it was. And it was going to rebound somewhere.
We need Pedro Porro to be crossing more because he's great at crossing.
Well, apart from Perisic, he's the only player we got who can cross a ball because Kulusevski can't do it. Johnson ain't a crosser. Son can't cross the ball. None of the players we've got up front are renowned for crossing the ball. The best one we got is injured, Perisic, and then it's Porro.
How about Darren Lennon? How about Darren Lennon? He'll do.
No, he's got to be the same age as me now.
As well. Who else have we got? Hano here. I want to run around quickly, guys. We'll start up at the top here. Brian, you want to take that, and then Ben, and we'll just do a circle here.
You come to me first of all.
Yeah, you know what? What the hell was I thinking? Sorry. We'll go the opposite way. Dan, just simple yes or no. I know history has showed that traditionally this is an easy no, but we're seeing different things now. A lot of people aren't on the Johnson train, but at the end of the day, we're also hearing that that's the number one guy Ange wanted, so he got what he wanted. Is the trend changing, or are we going to be disappointed in January and left with the usual, what the hell, Levy kind of thing? You're getting us, you're taking us to the water kind of thing, leading the horse to the water, but you're not letting it drink. It's almost that.
Okay. I mean, people say I'm negative at times. No, I just try to be a realist. Right. Yeah, so far so good about how we've done. That's all I can say. But as a Spurs supporter for 37 years now, since I was 5 years old, I'm now 42. I'm always looking over my shoulder for just waiting for something. With this one, I actually think Ange is going to get backed up a bit. Reason being is because Ange is that sort of player who he's not going to be asking for 60, 70, 80 million players.
No.
I think he's more the one that knows his little bit sort of thing, like he did at Celtic, and he'll be able to pick out a few of the cheaper players that maybe haven't got a name for themselves and could quite possibly do something. So just because they
100% agree with that, Dan.
Well, Dan. That's what we need.
But that's the thing. Then that kind of leads me to believe that he will be back just because he's giving the cheaper option, which is kind of exactly it's music to the board's ears. It's
exactly. So in that aspect,
this is magic. This is exactly what they wanted. Yeah. So
in that aspect,
will it be reciprocated? Will it be returned to him?
I think he will get backed to quite possibly the extent that will satisfy him. Maybe not us, but then again, pretty much 90% of Spurs supporters I debated with almost wanted Vicario to fail because they said he was just a cheapskate out. And I think a few people have been silenced on that one.
I think pretty much everybody has been, to be fair.
And whenever Spurs have gone for big players, money-wise, it's all just gone wrong anyway. So maybe we should just go back to trying the cheaper ones that come good and go it that way. But I think he'll get backed by the level he wants to get backed. But whether the supporters will think he's been backed to be a different story.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Brian decided to jump in and out and mix up my rotation here. So
I apologize. Blame Rogers.
All good, buddy. It's all good. If anybody can get away with that stuff around here, it's you, my man.
Yeah, blame Rogers.
The channel wouldn't have been started if it wasn't for Brian Dagul. I wouldn't even be here right now. So at the end of the day, you're the godfather of the three Spurs. I got the Modfather and the Godfather sitting beside each other. Look at that. Art, what are your thoughts, my man?
Right.
I got this the start here as well. We'll bring that up as well. Shawnee, if you're free, you want to jump in, you're welcome to, buddy.
I basically agree with that because I don't think Andrew's going to be asking for your Bastonis and all these. You know, he's never done. Well, he's never had the money to do it anywhere else he's been. But like he's known for grabbing these. He's a bit like what Brighton do. Grabs him an unknown and turns him into a superstar.
Yes.
And so
that's one thing we're seeing. He can develop players, which is
and so to me, that is right up Daniel Levy's alley. That's exactly what he wants.
Message me.
He don't want to be spending money. He's got to save it for his hotels and his cinemas and whatever else he's doing up there.
Yeah.
You know, that's far more important than winning like any cups or leagues or even, you know, all that. You know,
exactly.
So I believe he'll get backed, but he'll probably get his 100 million that we normally spend. But with him, he'll go out and buy sort of 6 or 7 players out of it.
I think he wants that bod from Celtic that he had. What's his name? Yeah, I think he's going to go for the one at Celtic. I can't remember the fella's name. I'm terrible for remembering names.
Coyato or something.
But
basically, that kid, the striker, the center forward.
Yeah, the young Asian fella that he got in there. The young Asian fella he got in there.
Sorry, guys, I don't know if you saw the comment that's come up, but you know what time it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben's got a customer.
That one. I reckon he'll go for him, and I don't think he'll cost an arm and a leg.
Right, I'm sorry, Bobby. I can smell burning, so I think my tea's on fire.
Go sort it out, buddy.
Right.
Yeah, are you coming back in or are you jumping? I guess that answers that. Okay. Oh, Jota. Sean is saying Jota from.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben had to drop off. Ben's got something going on at the shop over there. All right, then there's the 3. Yeah, Kyogo. Furuhashi.
I cannot remember the fella's name. He was playing on the left.
No, Kate just punched it in here for us. So okay. Kate, you got the link if you want to jump in, and Jim too as well. We promised we wouldn't take any Celtic. Oh
yeah, but it's business, isn't it? At the end of the day, we'll see. When a Celtic player gets an option of playing in the Premiership, baked potato, mate. See you later. He's off.
Okay. Now, Brian, to you regarding that question. Is Levy going to back Ange properly in the summer?
So, are we talking about? I thought it was January.
Or January, sorry. Yeah. That's summer, isn't it?
Well, so this is where I stand with it in January. First of all, it depends where we are in the league. And if we're really pushing to do something special, does he do it? But my main concern about it is we lose Basuma Sarr's son straight away. Now, is this a January where I consider, when I talk about Levy being, or Ange being backed by Levy this January, I look at it as in getting deals done quickly so they're available for January. Not like Porro that stretch out for the whole month.
Yep.
And then we get them. For me, it's imperative this time, especially the way things are going now.
We lose Son as well.
Those 3 key players that we will lose because of international competition. I think it's vital deals are set up ready in January. like we saw with Van Dijk to Liverpool, was agreed day before New Year's Day. New Year's Day signed, bang, you're in. Whether we do things that quick, I don't know. But for me, I'm judging Aaron's going to be backed by Levy this summer, not financially. I'm not doubting or calling into question. I'm calling in time-wise. If we can bring in a couple within the first week or two of January, I will say, regardless of who they are or how much they cost, he's backed him. That's this window. How I'm judging if Daniel Levy has backed down Postecoglou is how quickly these deals get done. And also, obviously, it's very dependent on the position we're in.
Fair enough. Mari, big up, Mari. Good to see you, buddy. Links in the group. Jump in, buddy. You're always welcome. We never signed a top quality, expensive player. We've had a cheap, tons of cheap options, basically. Kudu, obviously, Clinton and Jive. Was it Vladimir Krejci? It was.
Yeah.
But our cheapest ones lately have been the better ones. Maddison, he was cheap, 30 million basically. Basuma, 30 million when everyone was willing to pay 75 the season before.
Yep.
And then other players that we've got cheaper as such, they just seem to always do better than the ones who cost over 50, 55 million.
Well, Dan, what I'll add to that is this summer we looked like we filled the players in to fit the AND system. Normally we just buy a player and go, oh, you're a midfielder? Okay, you play in midfield. We're saying we need a midfielder, and off you go. There's been no, let's look if he can adapt to the team. Let's look if he's got the right qualities the manager wants. Let's see if he's got the right qualities off the pitch, the right attributes on the pitch, and where he will fit into the style of football we're playing. We've just been like, okay, 60 million and Dembele there, 50 or whatever it was, the Celso here, 60 million. Because it's just, we need a forward, let's just plug some money.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I think that's what we're seeing this window. Or
what about this, guys? What about Man's Executioner here is Manchecutioner. Am I saying? Oh God, I hope I'm saying that right. What positions are you looking to strengthen? Well, obviously, I personally have already, we've already touched on. We lose one of Romero or Van de Ven, and we're seriously concerned back there. So obviously that's going to be my number one spot, bringing in another quality center back. Does that necessarily mean going for a Tapsoba, spending the 50-60 million necessary, or Van de Ven came in at 30, right? So that's in the world right now that we're living in with the player prices. That's a steal, especially for what he's performed, the way he's performed thus far, hitting the ground running the way he has. He's been my favorite signing thus far. I think he's just absolutely brilliant.
Is that Van de Ven?
Yeah, if he can learn to jump up and head a ball, I think he's going to be something else for us, man.
I thought he was absolutely terrible against Liverpool. I thought he was awful. What, 5 times he got caught up the other end of the pitch, and if Salah hadn't lost a yard of pace and he wasn't as quick, that would have been 3 goals for Liverpool easy.
But that's the thing, though. He has the ability to get up there and get back. Then he has that.
He shouldn't be getting in them positions. He shouldn't be getting in that start.
I see where you're coming from, but saying he lost a yard of pace and because he's quick, that's one of the attributes that we've got Van de Ven in for his electric quick pace to get. That's why we can play the high line. So if he does make a mistake, like Carl Walker's pace gets, so he may make the mistakes, but his recovery.
But
I get where you're coming from compared to other games like Arsenal. He was outstanding. He was magnificent.
Yes, he's been good. I'm not defaulting that. I said his last game, only his last game.
I understand that, but that's where you're saying he was bad because he gave the ball away. But then I look at yes, he gave the ball away sloppily, but as you've heard from the players, they said this is what Aaron just told us to do and do and do and do.
But one other how you recover from it is the one saying that I need new glasses here. Well, if we go to what the players got rated at, he got the lowest rating in the Spurs game. Out of again,
it's the eye test of what people see and what people define as.
That's why we have these shows, right? Everybody offers their own opinion, kind of thing. And I don't like to sit here and say somebody's right, somebody's wrong. At the end of the day, you saw something different than I did. I watch you guys, other streamers, other content creators, and when they talk about a player and what he's done right, what he's done wrong, I'll look and I'll be like, oh, I never noticed that. So I appreciate somebody bringing it into the conversation. And Dan, if your opinion is that he wasn't that great, then that's fine. But there is somebody else that might have a different opinion, and we'll bring him in. A second debutant on the show. Strasbourg Steve is in the house, so big up Steve, rocking his Newcastle colors, smashing PSG. He's all happy and giddy and smiley. His date with his dinner with his friend the other week went well, clearly, so he's still beaming there. Steve, welcome to the channel, man. Appreciate you making your debut. How are you today?
I'm good. What about you guys?
Good, buddy. I'm glad you're here because we were just actually getting into the point where what positions are we looking to strengthen? I picked up on the center back there, and Dan was just about to tell us which pick a position. Dan, where's the number one spot you think we need to invest?
Well, we definitely need. I was shocked that we got Johnson instead of a centre back, because I would have said we needed a centre back a lot more than anything, like for cover. Because as soon as one of them two's gone, you've got Young, who hasn't played, and Eric Dyer. I think we'd be better off if we just stuck a statue there. He's more likely to block the ball. That's just how poor I think Eric Dyer is. But
is a player.
It's still got to be a defender, because we have to look at centre mid, because we still do have cover up front. Because I personally think we've got a little player there that no one gives any credit to, because we haven't really seen him that much. I personally think Brian Gill will work brilliant on this way. With the way Ange plays, I think Brian Gill might link in quite nicely.
It's a good point, Colin. That's a good point here. Yeah, Brian Hill, I liked seeing him in the center. Every time I saw him come on, I actually got excited by the kid. I liked his footwork and everything. I liked the fact that he would actually take a defender on and run at them. Brian, your number one position.
Yeah, well, first of all, I was just going to say with your one, a player like Tapsoba won't be coming in. And that's not because we won't pay the money, we won't do that.
Yeah.
The way Andrew's doing things has now been clearing the path for the youngsters to come in. And when you've got Dorrington, Ashley Phillips, and the Croat Vuskovic that we've just signed to come in 2 years, there's no way we're gonna pay 60, 70, 80 mil for a player that's just going to be a speed bump for those three. Because two of those in Dorrington, who I've seen regularly, is a talent. Ashley Phillips, I've waxed lyrical about. And then you had the Croatian coming in a couple of years. There's no way we're putting it. We might get another defender in, but it won't be a Tapsoba-esque. It won't be a big buy. I think you've got to look at this. I think Højbjerg's got in January. Not that I want him to. He sacked his agent because he couldn't get the move away in August. Or in the summer, sorry. He's not going to want to play bit part football, especially with the Euros coming up.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's going to want first, so he's going out. Then you're losing Sarr and Bissouma, which leaves Bentancur and Skip and maybe Gio, really. So I think the way I look at it right now, the most important one, as much as I want a defender to come in, and I think one will, just not at the Tapsoba price tag or
high level,
size. I think a central midfielder is going to be the number one, have to.
Or do you think a cheaper defensive option, like something like your buddy Chris here just popped in Kelly over at Bournemouth? He's a VDV clone. And
by the way, his name's Colin, not Chris.
Colin, sorry, Colin. I'm looking at the last name Cross there, so I don't know why Chris popped in the med. My apologies, Colin.
Make it jump. There you go. You got it.
I don't know about this Kelly kid. So Steve, I'll push it over to you now. What addition do you think Tottenham need to make to what's the most important addition that should be made in January without excuse?
We lose Son as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be three main players out.
Damn.
Okay. But just signed a new 5-year deal as well. Yeah. Kate saying center back number one. So Steve, what do you think?
I'd probably go with center mid, because Brian's saying that Phillips and Dorrington, he wouldn't mind seeing them get some more first team minutes in an emergency kind of basis. So all right, let's cross that off just for now. Yeah, midfield, because it's like, Højbjerg might go to Atletico Madrid or Juve. I think it was Juve or something like that. I know Atletico Madrid. That's been the kind of
one of the ones,
Yeah, which is weird because for me, he doesn't start there over Saul, Koke, and Riquelme, but whatever. that's his choice, I guess. But
he suits their style of play big time.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So
but he wouldn't be a starter. He wouldn't be a starter. For me, he doesn't start over Saul or Koke or Rodrigo Riquelme. But whatever.
I wouldn't have thought so, but
yeah, I
wouldn't have thought he would.
Yeah. But yeah, I would go center mid because you're losing Afcon, Sar and Bissouma. Yeah, it's center mid for me, for you guys.
Good shout, actually.
Definitely would go for center mid because
I like what Brian said. Even we've got young academy options for the front and the back. Not too many in the middle there. So yeah, especially Brian's wonder boy Alfie's gone to Plymouth.
Port Vale, yeah.
Portville, right? Okay. I knew it started with a P. So hey, I got one right.
There you go. Well done.
I know something about this football thing here and there.
Well done. Well done, brother.
Sonny's carrying a knock, guys. We all know that. He's been carrying it for a few games. He's still been coming out, putting in the time. Played 70-some-odd minutes, close to, with Liverpool before he subbed off. Looked lively to me, but now he might be off to international break because Klinsmann relies on him heavily, so he's not going to let him off the hook. He's going to go and face two arguably, very aggressive teams. I know a lot of people are saying Vietnam are a very, very tough tackling team, and we have to worry about him. What is going on with that in mind, with the international break coming and the fact that he's going to get minutes on the pitch for South Korea? Does he play against Luton, Brian?
Well, first of all, has he actually been called up for Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, they've done the call up. He's done.
Basically, what it is, from what I've read, they called him up to check him up because they want to check him up to see if he's injured or not. Basically, that is the reason I've heard he's been called over there.
Well, that's a good point.
Obviously, they make their decision.
I completely forgot Jurgen Klinsmann is the manager. So Jurgen Klinsmann will look after him. Jurgen Klinsmann will have his Tottenham hat on and be like, yeah, I just want you here to be with the team. But that I completely forgot about that, Steve. That gives me a little bit of reassurances. But the most worrying thing
is the opposite for me, Brian.
There you go. But for me, what when he came off against Liverpool, I didn't see him on the bench in significant pain. It looked like really, really clenching it. Like his facial expressions. It's a big concern. It's a big, big, big concern. We had this discussion yesterday on Tottenham on Tour. It was like we kind of put it that if you had to have Madders or Son on the bench, which one would you rather start on the bench? And for me, I would bench Sonny because Madders at least creates and can be that goal threat. But last season he carried a knock all season, which we found out at the end of the season.
Yeah,
it had a huge impact. It's not having the same impact, obviously, this season. He's flying. It just concerns me. Do you risk playing him and then that groin niggle becomes an injury and then you don't just take him off for 20 minutes, you have him out of the squad for a couple of weeks, a month, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It's a real tough one. The other reason I'm kind of said I'd bench him because I think he can pose a huge threat coming off the bench. Luton are going to defend very much like they did against Sheffield United. Sheffield United did against us, which is deny any space, really, really be compact, and Sonny struggled in the middle. So I think Sonny coming on against a tiring Luton could have a bigger impact from the bench, and that's not me saying dropping him. That's me looking after his well-being.
You're playing the long game. You're playing the long game.
Exactly. Because we all keep saying it's only one game. We keep saying it's only one game a week. It's only one game a week. Doesn't matter if you're carrying an injury and you're running and you do something in that one game a week, then you're screwed. So that's my view. I'm just going to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, but carry on from there, Steve. Do you think Sonny should play against Luton? He's got a little bit of a knock and everything like that. The sad reality is that we're so thin on attacking options, especially now with the Solomon injury being announced as well, on top of everything, Perisic being out as well, Johnson being out as well. Now we've got to worry about forcing our captain, arguably our best player, to play when against Luton. This is a team we should be able to kind of sweep aside with our B team, but then when we look at our B squad, we're very disappointed. We saw what happened with Fulham. So what's your thoughts on this, my man?
So if I were a Spurs fan, bro, I would probably want him to rest probably just because like Brian was alluding to, he's playing the long game in terms of you still have a full season ahead. Arsenal have the same dilemma with Saka, by the way, and you know, a few other teams have that kind of dilemma about like a player playing while they're injured, they're picking up things, and it's tough right now for teams right now in football. They're racking up a lot of injuries. So, to be honest, I would probably say bench if you need him, bring him off, but it's tricky. It's tricky. The squad depth is for you guys isn't the best. To be fair, like you've been still doing well despite that though. So, I probably would just be a bit precautionary, to be honest, but that's just me. Because like Brian said, Klinsmann will take care of Son. So what I would it's kind of like keep him off the pitch to rest as long as possible, and Klinsmann will handle it from there, and he'll do a good job of it. And you know, so
see, this is where I'm concerned. You know, you and Brian have both echoed the same statement there in terms of Klinsmann protecting him and keeping him safe because he's a Tottenham boy. We've seen in the past though with Klinsmann running South Korea and Sonny on a knock all last season and everything like that, where he's putting him into games where he doesn't need him. They're unnecessary friendly. Like it doesn't affect his managerial status. It's not going to affect him qualifying for any kind of competition. Yet he's still putting our boy out there to get knocked around. And now with this, you know, I'm just everybody I know that's spoken about this thing is saying that Sonny against Vietnam is a very bad idea because they play very rough, aggressive football. They're a very tough tackling team. And that's why I'm concerned. Dan, what are your thoughts on it, my man?
Well, even if he doesn't play, I don't think it's good for him because how far is the journey out there? 20-odd hours?
Good point. Yeah.
Long.
Yeah, so we're talking
it's about 20 hours from here, maybe 10 or 12 from the UK.
Let's have a look.
I know it's a long old mission he's got to go on.
It's about 22 hours to India from here, so I'm just basing it around that.
It says they're playing Tunisia in a friendly, and that's
and Vietnam. There's a double header.
Okay. It just might not show on Sofa.
Either way, whether it's 10, 20 hours, whatever it is, that's still excess travel he's got to do. And he might be sitting in a lovely place and everything else, but you're going to get jet lag from that and whatever else. And that is, either way, it's going to affect him.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he's flying to Seoul from London, it's 12 hours, 20 minutes.
Okay.
If he's going to, I'm not going to try and pronounce this place because I'll do a disservice, but it's spelled Daegu, then it's 17 hours.
Daegu.
Okay, so either way, he's got a mission, Either way, he's going to have at least 20 hours flight there and back, overall sort of thing,
Yeah.
That's going to have an effect on anyone anyway.
Yeah, so no, you're right though. I didn't, to be honest with you, Dan, I didn't even take that into consideration. You know, what's the point of him spending upwards of 50, 60 hours traveling in a week?
Exactly. If he's not even
going to play, bench and cheer for his team.
But from what I read, I can only go by what I read on the papers, on the internet, same as everyone else. It's purely because they want to see if he's good enough to play or whatever.
Well, there's also this very good point brought up by Colin here. There's the commercial contract, right?
Yeah.
So that might be part of the
arrangement. Samson and everything that
everybody wants to see Sonny. You know, we see it at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I said it to Brian when I went into the club shop with the boys because it was our first trip. It was the little guy's birthday. Of course, he's going to buy something there, regardless of the situation. I'm not going to deny him that, even though I hated lining the board's pockets at that time, especially. The amount of Sonny fans in there, the amount of Asian people that were just walking out with bags and bags and bags of merchandise. This guy is a major draw. So I appreciate the fact that Colin is saying, you know, due to the commercial end of it, that he might have commitments that need to be made. So
could well be.
See what happens there. And Solista, hopefully I'm saying that right. Big up, man. This is the guy on Twitter that's made up a few Spurs songs and stuff for people and everything. So waiting for my 3 Spurs boys ones, brother. So hopefully you're well, man. Keep up the great work, though. Kate's laughing at Jim because Jim thought I was hiding in his house in a closet, but clearly I'm okay. I'm all the way over here. Jim, you're safe for now. I don't know where Ben's disappeared to or Mark. So you might want to take a look for one of them popping out of a closet here and there. Spurs just say, no, you're not fit enough. Sonny pays his wages. You just have final say. Yeah, this has come up before, guys, with people saying that the club pays for the player. They're the ones that pay his wages. But how do you tell somebody to take away their own pride and not go represent their country when given the opportunity?
A lot of other clubs do it. A lot of other clubs do it.
But a few players still end up going. I know, was it Ferguson was one of the first few, or is it Mourinho did it with Chelsea as well, right? Saying this is absolutely nonsense. Why are we sending players out with the timing of the season, right? Any of you take wherever you want. Go ahead.
Without Son, we don't have much option up there, because I put after that last game, Richarlison he put one good ball across, but after that, I just don't see no hope with the fella at all. I really don't. I think we should
against Luton, even against Luton, because people are talking about Luton. People don't actually watch Luton. That they're so horrifically horrible that anyone could beat them.
They're a Premier League team at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, they're going to still give it their all.
They're so horrific.
Because a team like Luton, I look on them as a team like Bolton used to be, yeah? And Bolton never used to be good. But one thing you always knew when you come back from Bolton was that you'd hardly have any kneecaps left. Yeah?
Okay.
Because they just used to get stuck in because they didn't have the skill to do it. And that's what you still see with some of the smaller clubs who haven't got the skill. They get stuck into the players. That will happen at Luton, I think. I think we should give our... what's his name? The Argentinian one we've got, the young fella we got. Striker. I think we should give him a go up front.
You know what? That's a perfect way to bring that up, because that's what we were going to segment into next anyways, Dan. So why don't you carry on that? Because that's what we were looking at. The players that are going to benefit from the current injuries, who could do well, who's going to fit into the systems, and who's going to impact. We're shot. We don't lack depth. What we do is lack quality in depth, right? Because the drop off when you're looking at, let's just go by FIFA ratings here. When you got Sonny at 90, and then you bring in Richie, who's 63. That's you got a player that can go in there and play in that position, but he's not bringing what was brought from the person he's replaced.
Well, with what I've seen with this Argentine fella, and I can only go by what I've seen on YouTube basically, because I haven't seen the fella play. I don't really know much of him. Like, I'd only seen Johnson play once last season, so I can't really rate him too much. But from what I've seen, he comes across like more of a target man. And against someone like Luton, that could be your perfect man to just stand there, keep their defence back, and be the target man who can at least hold it for someone else, or maybe get a good header in. I don't know how good he is, but this is just how I see him on YouTube. But I think you've got more chance of getting something out of him than you have of Richarlison, because that one, about the only thing you have to do is wind his head off for him, and then he would look like a headless chicken running around the pitch. I think he's awful.
Yeah, he's a lost cause. He's a lost cause. People trying to put him on any pedestal, it's just like you're setting yourself up. Disappointed.
I've tried to give him a chance in that, and for me, he just gets worse and worse every time. All right, that ball across the sun, fair play, man. I'll give you a Blue Peter badge at the same time, fella. But seriously, I think he is on the same level as Eric Dyer. That is how bad I rate him now. I just
very
personally, give me a chance. I would try and sell him in January.
Richie,
and see what. I don't know, to whoever would be idiot enough to buy him. I mean, surely he'll go somewhere for 30 mil if we're lucky. I don't know, but I would try and sell him in January and get someone new in. I just think he needs to get out.
Well, you can try selling all you want. There ain't gonna be no buyer for nothing.
Oh, no, very big discount. Brian, you're shaking your head aggressively.
There will be buyers for him, whether it be Saudi Arabia, where there are offers before. There will be offers for him, and
he's still Brazil number 9.
Yeah, but you still got to remember as well, we ain't selling him in January. And I personally don't want to sell him in January. With Son going to the Asian Cup, there is no way we're then selling Richarlison to try and get another striker in to replace the striker that we got to replace the striker. It just ain't happening. And I think Richarlison on the left, not central, left, is the only place to play him. And I've even said I am actually going to put my neck on the line and say he's going to get 2 goals against Luton. I think there is It's taken a while. Listen, do I think he's brilliant and he's going to be a Tottenham star? No. Do I think he's going to become a useful player and chip in with goals? Yes, I do, at left. And I think I completely agree with Dan. I'd rather see Valise in the middle than Richarlison.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what game it is, but especially Luton. Because like I said, if we had played a Valise or a Richarlison in the centre against Sheffield United, the way we were playing, I thought we would have had them beat, and it wouldn't have gone to the extent that it did last minute. Richarlison has flattered to deceive. He has not set the ground running. He's come out and said what he said about, we all know what he's doing about his mental health and his situation.
Right.
And I reckon he can become a very useful player for the squad. I really do, but it's only for me on the left. That's the only place, because Son has now got that locked up. I'd rather have Valise up there. If another striker was to come in, hell, I'd even play Dane Scarlett there if he was at the club. I think Richarlison, we've seen what he did with the assist for Liverpool, the assist for the disallowed goal, the hit in the post. He's having moments. He's just got to be more clinical. And I think playing him just on the left and solely on the left, we may see a different player in a few weeks, months.
Instead of sticking him in the middle, I'd rather stick Maddison in the middle, for God's sake. You know, because you're going to get a good few shots out of him or so. I don't care. Go stick Romario up the middle, whatever. I just think Richarlison is that. I use a nice phrase on here that I hear sometimes that I don't usually use. He's pants, and that's all. That's just trying to keep my language down. And I think he's absolutely terrible.
He's a lost
Maybe he can get something out on the left.
He's a lost cause.
He
could contribute with a goal or two. I don't deny that, but it's just like.
Listen, he's got one of the worst first touches in the Premier League. There's times with his first touch that I'm sure he's wearing bouncy castles as football boots.
Vomit and yeah.
But yeah, I think he will not turn good and turn it all around and be like, oh yes, Richarlison, yes, he's brilliant. I think he has to be on the left, and then we'll see what happens. And I honestly think he's going to get a couple against Luton. I honestly do.
Like Brian,
I hope you're right. You know me. I hold a faint hope for this kid still. So, but I'm the deluded optimist all the time. No. So what can I say? There was also the musings of a football fan. Good to see you. New to the channel, obviously. So nice to see. Appreciate you joining us. Going to the game this Saturday. So good luck. Enjoy the game, man. Hopefully you have a good time up there. And sorry, Steve, you were going to say something there?
You know who Richarlison reminds me of in my squad? It's like asking Ryan to chip in. It's like that guy is a lost cause.
I mean,
expect. Hey, actually, you know what? Actually, no. To be fair, a more accurate one would be Jamal Lascelles. Jamal Lascelles barely did anything for us last year. Barely appeared, but he stepped in against Paris Saint-Germain last night out of the blue, and was ridiculous. So maybe in a miracle of miracles, because weird things happen in football, Richarlison could get a brace on Saturday. I don't deny it.
Look,
maybe finish the season with 15 goals.
I can only agree with one word that Brian said. I can only agree with one word Brian said. Please, mate, I hope you're right. Yeah, but you only said one word that actually I agreed with, and that was left. Yeah, left at home.
Listen, like I said, it comes down.
I pray you're right, mate. I pray you are.
Listen,
how many players sitting at home already, man?
Well, no, you just got to look at it. Listen, some players are made for it. Some players like Madison's or whatever just come in and straight away. Oh my God, what a player! Some people you got to look. I'm not. Before people start going, oh my God, you're comparing. I'm not comparing them to them. I'm saying people like Dennis Bergkamp took a year to settle. I know he's been in London or in England with Everton and Watford, but he's now at Tottenham Hotspur. It's a different kettle of fish to Everton and Watford.
Under his third
you have Thierry Henry. You have other players that have come in that have taken a season to settle. And then I'm not saying in any stretch of imagination is Richarlison anywhere near Bergkamp or Thierry Henry.
None of them took a season to score a bloody goal.
But there's players that do take a while to settle.
Right.
Mate,
Well,
No, the problem is, Brian, it looks like he already has settled. It looks like he already has settled like a bloody tree on the pitch.
I've said I'm giving him till January. I'm giving him till January.
We're going to need him in January, right, Brian?
He's not going in January, but if we don't get a return from him in January, then we've got to start looking for a replacement forward to be him out the door.
Well, we'll keep going with that, Brian, and bring it incorporate this comment into it. We got Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord, who's
this is someone we are very, very interested in.
Yeah. So
listen, I think if anyone comes in, if we do go up front in January, it's either him or Gift Orban.
Sorry, I just decided that's actually hilarious. If somebody will buy Havertz, somebody will buy Richie.
I think it comes into whether it's Gift Orban or Jimenez. It's one of those two that I see coming in. It's one of those two I see coming in. If we do go forward, Jimenez does look like a very good prospect, a very, very good prospect. But
yes.
But again, you've got to look at it. We've got again with Valise. There's Dane Scarlett. Spurs are looking right now. You've got to remember when we're looking at things right now, and it's something I'm very excited about because I keep an eye on them. We do have a crop of youth coming through.
Yeah.
We really do. For the first time in God knows how long, there is a sheer crop of them coming through at the same time. People like Donnelly, who's on fire. Your Mikey Moores, your Santiagos, your Divines, your Dorringtons, your Phillips, your Vuskovic. There are so many coming through, and I think right now, what Ange and the board have done this summer is cleared a lot of the speed humps and the roadblocks to try and get them in to some kind of first team football within the club. And Mikey Moore, when he finally breaks through, sorted. Donnelly, sorted. Divine, sorted.
So when you're looking, really young though, isn't he?
Say again.
Moore's really young, isn't he? Like
Moore's 15, or I think he might have just turned 16. 16 but Michael, listen, if you're young enough, you're good. Michael Owen made his Premier League debut at 16. Wayne Rooney at 15.
Fair enough.
I'm not saying that these players are going to be the likes of them, but for once, you can actually say at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, it's not like, oh, your Harry Winks is coming through. Oh, your Mason and Bentaleb's coming through. Your Winks, your Tanganga. For the first time, this is a crop. Like Manchester United did with their crop that came through and led them to unrivaled success. Not saying that ours are going to do it, but we actually have
the class
a crop. You got to remember that also, like the class of 92, will be playing with each other week in, week out, getting to know each other's games. So when they do finally make that step up, like England did with Gareth Southgate at the beginning, he trained a lot of these youth players at youth, so they'd all played under him and knew what to do. So when he first came in, this is what you've got to look at as well. We need to sit back and relax and realise there is a good crop of youngsters coming through.
Yeah.
And the one thing we can't afford to do is go, oh yeah, I know you're coming through, but bang, we're going to put a speed hump in your way. We've got to,
which we've done in the past.
Exactly. We've got to think smartly about what we're doing in the market right now. We've got to. And listen, as people know, everyone knows my stance on a certain person. Right now, there is an opportunity. Right now, coming forward, there is an opportunity with the crop coming through. So it's like, right, do we actually give them the chance? Or do we say, fuck you, we're going to start spending money again and stop these people? Yeah. So that's the way we've got to look at it.
I think the only difference there, Brian, I totally agree with what you're saying. Totally agree, yeah. I want to see some of these youth players given a game and that, yeah. But the big but to it for me is I want them to play because we want them to play, not because we have no other option but to make
of course.
them play.
Yes. Yeah.
And at the moment...
That's what I'm saying, Dan. But what I'm saying
I agree with you.
Right now, don't go and spend £90 million. Alfie Devine, let's take Alfie Devine. Let's just say we're going to play him either left or right up top or anywhere in the centre. Don't now go and spend 80, 90, 60, 70 million on a midfielder if you're sure, like I am, that this guy is the real deal and going to come through.
Wow.
Get him in that team, see how he does, and if it don't work out, then you go, right, this ain't how I see it. We gave him a go, then go and make the bid. Don't don't butcher, not butcher. Don't stop that talent coming through. You have to. Alfie Devine is one. You've got to give him the chance, and then if he fails, go right. Okay, we tried it with you. Off you go. Then we're going to spend big.
I agree.
Don't leave Dorrington, Phillips, and Devine are 4 that I'd say are definitely going to make it at Tottenham.
All of them.
Opportunity.
A 4-pack.
Yeah, I can agree. And
but the only question I have is, can you name a Premier League club besides the class of '92 where all 4 of like a certain era all got into it? Because it's let's be real, guys. With Premier League academies or just academies in general, outside of your Ajaxes, a lot of them.
What I would say with that, Steve, is Dorrington.
Okay.
Or maybe Dorrington / Phillips. I'd probably edge Phillips more because I love Ashley Phillips.
Okay.
And Alfie Devine are definitely getting in. I don't think they're not as good to say with Manchester United. Right, we're plunking those 5 in and off you go. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
They could be around the first team on the bench, making an impact and earning their place. There's no way these players could just come in, especially our football is just now, and start a game with the 5 and go off you go. There's no way.
Oh, okay.
No, we do at least now, Brian, have promise in the fact that we've got a manager that plays his youth and puts a little bit of trust and faith into them. You know, that's going to help their confidence. Obviously, how they're going to develop if you're consistently, being told you're not good enough.
Colin is just putting my man Colin. His last comment is just putting an exact bang on the money comment. No, not you'll see. No, the one about West Ham.
This one here.
Michael Carrick, Jermaine Defoe, Joe Cole, Rio Ferdinand. I could go on and on. As soon as they got in, bang, off you go. So these teams do it. Football's evolved now, obviously.
West Ham did it, and they got relegated.
West Ham with Harry, they did, but to start off with, they didn't, mate. But that was when Defoe came in. When Cole and Carrick first came in, it weren't so much the thing. But you got to remember, again, this was with Harry Redknapp, a manager that played attacking football. Mm-hmm. And was like, right, the youth are here, they're good enough. Look what he said with Lampard. I didn't even bring Frank Lampard into that. And when people were saying, you've probably all seen that interview with Harry Redknapp and Lampard when he was saying to people that Lampard's going to be one of the best in the world. You've got to give them a chance. You've got to give them a chance. If they're good enough, they're old enough.
No, and also, Brian, I'm a huge component of give the youth kids a chance. Like, for example, if I was a Man United fan, I'd be annoyed as hell that a left back from the academy and Alvaro Fernandez got loaned out, and there's probably also an academy kid at Man United that should be playing left back, the position, and not Amrabat. You put Amrabat in midfield because the thing is, I don't mind throwing kids in right away because there is no easy time to introduce them. There's just less difficult times, right? To Man City, another one where they bring in kids and they give them some opportunities, right? It's not easy for Foden to walk into Man City's team. He still has to adjust a lot and whatnot, and they're playing at a high level. So if the academy kid comes on and isn't at that high level, then he can't play. Right now, right here, right now, right? So there's no such thing as an easy time or the perfect time to bring in an academy kid. So it's like, why not just do it more often, see if they sink or swim? And if I want to do
it because they're good enough to do it, not because we've got no other option and we have to do it.
That's a part of it.
That's the thing when I say it, a lot of people take it as, well, you're saying you want them to play, but not to play. Yes, I want them to play because they're good enough to do it.
In the right situation.
We have no other option. Except to do it.
But that's what kind of Steve was just basically saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
when
I'm agreeing.
In the right situation, when we can expose these players to what's going to happen, because let's face it, we're ruthless. Football fans are ruthless, especially with the social media, the way it is and stuff. Kid comes on for the last 15 minutes of the game, doesn't really do much or anything, and we're on him. Look at the hatred Richie gets. I personally, you wear a Spurs kit. If I don't like you or not, I'm still going to back you. I try not to bash players. I will criticize individual performances, which Brian knows I very rarely do that. I'm more the deluded happy clapper type. And I'm happy in my own little world like that. I like unicorns and rainbows. So
you're like Chad Ochocinco. Chad
Ochocinco
struggles. Chad Ochocinco.
For one game.
Yeah.
If we needed a defender, because there's no other defender, so he brings on Young. Yeah. Young has a complete howler of a game, goes tits up, scores an own goal and everything and that. It'll get let off lightly because everyone will turn around and say, well done, Ange, for not bringing on Dyer. So I think
that's the other thing, dude. Eric Dyer is the crappy past. Give a kid that has shown something in your academy, if there is one. He is the future or the potential to be the future.
For me,
we all know Dyer's crap, and he always will be.
It covers Angie's back as well, because if Dyer comes on and has a poor game, Angie's going to get it in the neck. Why didn't you do the young boy? If the young boy comes on and has a crap game, they're going to say, at least you gave him a chance and didn't bring Dyer.
Why didn't you play Dyer? He's the experienced head of the team.
No,
you know?
people
but his experience doesn't make him good.
No, people won't say that. People say, well done for using the young boy.
You guys forget that although I admit to being a deluded fan and a happy clapper, I have a son that's more deluded than me, and Eric Dyer is his favorite player. Okay, so out of protecting my son's poor
Bobby,
innocent
you
ears,
do know the drinking age in Canada is 18, right?
What's that?
You do know the drinking age in Canada is 18, right?
Well, we're Indian, man. The drinking age is 11.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why he thinks Eric Dyer.
I was born in England, so that's like 7.
Eric Dyer favorite. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, Colin. You know what? I honestly think, as much as football development is important, I think it's very, very important that as we're talking about kids that are coming into the team, this Moore kid only being 15 or 16. Sorry, I'll just go off the rails here for a second. Simon, Brian, I don't know if you know, Ronan has been picked up by Roma.
Oh, really?
A friend of ours, his 14-year-old son has been picked up by Roma. He's going to be going to Italy next summer. They wanted him now, but Simon said it's too young. He's going to move away from his family. He's going to move away from everything he's ever known. He's going to move to a foreign country where he doesn't speak the language. He's going to go to school there. He's going to be put into a school by Roma. They're going to educate him. They're going to teach him Italian as well. They're going to teach him the culture, sorry. And they've made it very clear that we're going to have a guy here putting his arm around his shoulder and making sure that he's protected. He's shielded. He's brought up a little bit differently. Kids that age, they're now got this hype mentality almost that, all right, I'm going to do well. I'm getting somewhere. They have one bad game and all of a sudden they go on their social media and they've got 5,000 comments of you're shit. You shouldn't play football. You go back to Canada. You're absolutely horrible. You're crap. What are you doing in Italy? When I think of something like that happening to a boy I know personally, who's a very, very good boy, I know it could fracture them. At the end of the day, we're human.
That's where the adults
at our age might be able to handle.
That's where the adults have to step in the situation and be like, social media, take a break, dude.
Yeah. But there's that other line of...
You can't escape the boos in the stands. You can't escape coming out of the stadium and people, calling you out kind of thing. There's things that just can't be avoided regardless of even if you try.
But that's the thing about that's why these players get paid so damn much. Because
later, though. Later. He's not going to be getting paid much now.
But the thing is that they have to be. Think about this is if you're playing in like Premier League, Serie A, any of these top leagues, you're the 1% of the 1% of human athletes and footballers in the world. You have to be something special.
But look,
you have to be something special.
Look on this from another side.
When you're coming up as when you're coming up as an academy kid, people grab you and they inflate you. They inflate your ego. They inflate your abilities. They push to you why you're going to become something and why we're going to make you something.
All right, back in one set, Bobby.
Right? And then all of a sudden, of course, buddy. And then they're exposed to the nasty side.
Yeah.
But that nasty side, the wave that comes from the nasty side is a lot less of a wave than you get from the positivity. We're all guilty, guys. It's human nature. Yeah. Every single one of us is quick to pick up the phone or say, go get your manager for poor service. But very little. We sit here and say, "Get your manager," so I can tell him how wonderful you are. We don't praise; it's human nature.
It's much easier to critique.
We are very quick to break something or somebody down.
But you're also missing a point here.
And rip them. Sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
It's all right, mate. You're missing a big point here that I think that a lot of people do, or maybe you're not. Maybe it's the way I'm hearing it. I'm totally agreeing with what you're saying. Yeah, young player, you got to protect them. But then for me, there's that borderline where I think too many players are too protected. And it shows these days that they've been so protected, then all of a sudden, bang.
Dan, it's called balance.
Now you're in the real world, and it hits them like a brick.
Yeah.
This is where they've got to find this way to, like Steve said, balance it to get them into the real world. Not just to keep them in the bubble and keep them like life's all cushy and everything, everybody loves you and that, and then just drop them into the middle of it. They have to bring them into it, because I find a lot of players these days, maybe it's something to do with my age and everything as well, they're very, very weak. And what I mean by weak is they find it hard to deal on the mentality side with everything. Whereas you go back when the younger players, like when I was in my 20s, when players used to come in, they'd have a couple of bad games, get it in the neck worse than the players could ever get now. But the difference is the social media. And they'd just be basically given a slap on the shoulder. Come on, boy, get your act together. This is the real world. Get into it. It's a very thin line. I think you can bubble them too much.
No, and I agree with that. That's why it's what I'm relating it specifically to this one situation, because it's personal for us. We know the family involved, right? The things that my friend Simon was telling me about the way the club is going to be handling his son, the way they're going to be sheltering him and teaching him at the same time how to deal with this. They will criticize him. They will put him down. They will break him down. You cannot just continue.
It's like joining the army. To be honest.
You have to be made strong.
High stress, high intensity job.
Yeah.
But a lot of them don't. A lot of them are bubbled up so much and then just dropped into the middle of it, and they don't know what's going to hit them.
Right.
It's a very thin line. So I totally agree with everything you're saying, if that's how they're going to do it. But I just do see a lot of it. The young player pops out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he's got the old world on his case and that, and he just hasn't even got a clue of what to expect with it as such. He was thinking everyone was going to like blow him roses and whatever.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest killers for everything, you said it, and it's totally right. Social media is a killer, mate. That literally, it is savage. So you got to keep them away from that as well.
It's not
I
even.
agree with what you said.
If they can't handle it, don't use it. I use social media. People can say whatever they want to me. I have a different mentality though, because those people are internet strangers. I'll never meet them in my life, so they can say whatever they want.
It's also not just from a social media perspective, Steve. What I'm also saying is now we've got Big Ange's here. Yeah. We know he supports the youth players.
Yeah.
You turn around as a youth player, you develop under this guy for the next, let's say, 2 years. Let's say he does this whole contract, God willing, and extends it and brings us glory. Let's hypothetically say 2 years now, if we work under this guy and everything. All of a sudden he's shipped out, and you now bring in a manager like a Mourinho or a Conte, who is not the guy that's going to put his arm around you and auto you. He's going to point the finger and say, what the hell are you doing? Why are you so shit?
Yeah.
How are you a professional footballer? So there's a lot of like the mental landscape to this. It's aggressive on the players, but then the argument is, like you guys already said, you're getting paid $100,000 a week. You make more money in a week
get sympathy
than I'm going to see in a year. Some people might not even see in a lifetime.
And people won't show him sympathy because of that.
And that's the flip side to
it's
it,
like
right?
Marvel
we got behind the comments here.
Sorry, mate.
You're right, Kate. He's not a kid. He should be used to some criticism, but the thing is, there's criticism and there's vileness, and I'm seeing more vile, disgusting, calling out players' families, wishing death on them, wishing illness on them.
That shit is disgusting.
You can't. That's not humane.
Look what AC Milan did turn up on the players' doors.
Don't tell me I'm wrong. You're wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You wrong, okay? I'm never wrong in my house. I want to hear I'm wrong. I'll get my wife down here. Oh, no, not you, honey. Sorry. No, someone else's wife. Sportive persons, 58. Always been a buying club. Okay, Collins. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, there's very few players that we can say that have come to other than Harry Kane, obviously. There's a handful that have come to the academies, but a lot of players that we've had that have been quality have been brought in. Dan Burns doing, he's I think you're like in this comment, Steve. I'll leave this one for you. This is all yours. This is all yours.
He's from Blythe.
Your boy here.
He's from Blythe. You'll never ever beat Dan Burn, man. Honestly, I love that guy. I think he's terrific. What a dude. What a dude.
And he's young. Is he 24, something like that?
No, he's 30.
Is he 30? I thought he was young.
No.
So he's
he's been around the block. Dan Burn has been around the block, bro. He's 6'7".
So I saw he scored that. Sorry.
Yeah, he scored the second header. He scored the second goal.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Shar. Sorry.
Oh, Fabio.
He scored that bullet, right? And he's like mid-20s kind of thing, right?
He's coming up on 32.
Is he coming up there too? Jeez, this is the problem with me getting older too. Everybody else is getting older around me as well. It is a small bunch, Kate, but the sad reality is the small bunch start the noise, and the ripple effect to it is what the issue ends up becoming. It's a question for you here, Steve.
I mean, Botman long term, obviously, because he's way younger than Fabian Schär. But like as a defender, I still am taking Botman. But Fabian Schär was awesome last night. Awesome.
That goal he scored was great.
Unbelievable. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when an NBA player shoots a 3 and he falls back and hits it. Because Schär he hit the shot and he fell. That's what that reminded me of. Boy.
No, it was a great strike.
I don't even think last night was real. I don't even.
Botman is a great player.
Yeah.
Wow,
Botman is a player Spurs should have had. Spurs should have took him up when they had the chance.
For what they paid for him?
I think
32 million euros.
I'm not complaining with Romero and Van de Ven now, though. But
again,
look how long it took us to replace Vertonghen and Toby. That's just
I think Botman, if you put him in the right place and keep him going, I think he's going to be up on the same standards as Saliba. And some are going to say that's a goal and a half. I think he's going to be that good. I think he has got potential to go that far. Because personally, I think Saliba, another year, and he's going to be at Real Madrid. And I think give it another year or two, and I think Botman's
I like how you're speaking
as well.
An Arsenal center back, a really, really good one, into existence to move to Real Madrid. I think he's at that level too, by the way.
Oh,
I reckon give Saliba one more year and you can call him world class. Not quite yet, but one more year and he'll be world class and he'll be one of the top 3 defenders in the world. Hate to say it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, probably.
And Botman, I think Botman is very close to his level.
His trajectory is going up, Botman, because I think
Botman is a great player.
I think we got 2 boys back there too that are going to be moving up levels as well. Nice and young, and I'm just looking forward. That partnership is looking very, very solid, and it looks like it's going to become something special. Another one for you, Steve. What Spurs defender gets into the Newcastle defense? So you got Udogie, Van de Ven, Romero, Coro, Royal. I'll leave Dyers and Davies out because I think they have better options than them. I would say pretty much the first 5 I listed would arguably be able to get into your team. You paid a ridiculous amount for your left back. Jesus, why do I always forget the kid's name now? Gordon
gets in there.
Anthony Gordon's a left winger.
Anthony Gordon,
left winger.
So
Gordon's
he's a left winger. I thought he was a left wing back.
No, he's a winger.
Left wing. Okay, then. So who is your left back?
Dan Burn.
Oh, so Udogie gets in over him.
Yeah. Easy.
It depends what you want to do, though. It depends what you want to do. Dan Burn pocketed Ousmane Dembele last night. I'm not saying that Udogie couldn't, but let's be real. Everybody tries to target Dan Burn, but then realizes, and he's not even that quick, but he has such damn long legs that he can just cover so much ground, and he's tall. You can't hit the vertical over him. Udogie's quick. It's a completely different style.
I'll tell you one thing.
Here's what I'll say. Udogie gets in at Newcastle because he is the future. Dan Burn could give us 1 or 2 more solid seasons.
Mickey Van de Ven over Botman.
Oh, wow.
Yes or no?
Way.
Dan's shaking his head no.
No chance.
He'll keep Botman.
You're saying Botman over Van de Ven or other way around?
All day long.
Saying Botman. Yeah, you're saying
Botman
right
all
now?
day long.
Yeah,
I think Botman is further in his game than Van de Ven is. Don't get me wrong. I think Van de Ven's going to be good, but I think Botman is already further into his game.
Yeah, we're talking about where they are now, not
where they are now. Then Van de Ven doesn't touch
a mixed
Botman.
11 starting tomorrow's game. Are you starting Dan Burn or are you starting Udogie, I should say.
I'll go with Udogie if I'm looking to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Botman or Mickey Van de Ven?
Botman.
And you've already said Botman. Then you got Romero and Schär.
Ooh.
Romero.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I just don't think Schär is defensively. I love that goal he scored yesterday, but defensively, I've never seen him be as solid.
Fantastic last night, and he was part of the defense
That's
last
what I'm saying. Not consistently, though, right?
Oh, consistently. I mean, last year.
Yeah.
You don't make as many mistakes as Romero. I think that's a preference one for me.
Okay. So what's your preference, somebody?
Oh, because I like them both. I really, really do. Again, I'll go for he's younger. Romero. I'll go Romero and then Trippier.
Okay.
Trippier,
we keep Trippier over Porro. Dan, do you agree with that?
At this moment in time, yes. And I'm one of the ones who sat there and said, he can't defend. But for the past 2 games, he's been pretty solid. I still think you will get the most out of him as an attacking midfielder on the right. I think that is where would be his best. But as a right back, he has been pretty solid past 2 games. But for me, Trippier walks in over Porro at this moment in time.
Hey,
maybe not in another season, but Trippier is more overall.
Yeah,
at this moment.
Big up, buddy. Good to see you.
I think Trippier is very underrated personally, and why we let that player go, I will never know. That was the most stupid move we ever made. One of.
Bro, Craig Burley said it the other night on ESPN FC. He's like, Trippier's just a rock solid pro footballer.
He is good.
Leader, a guy you want in the changing room, a guy you want on the pitch. He does his job consistently, doesn't make mistakes. He'll get he can get forward a bit, consistent crosses, like he is the rock.
One statement I'll make here, and everyone can call me whatever they want on this. Vouch my words, I follow Serie A like I do Premiership, Inter Milan is my second team.
I love Serie A.
Oh, shoot.
I made sure.
I just realized the time here. We've got to start whipping through this here. We do got to finish up soon. Tottenham on tour. Brian's going to be leaving us soon and joining Ben for a pre-shelf side Spurs pump up there. So let's just get through. Let's go to this one quickly here. Ange is up for the consecutive Manager of the Month award here. So, fair play to Ange. He's got a great record. I think he was against Arteta, Klopp. To who does anybody else know who the other ones that were on that
list? Eddie Howe and Unai Emery is also up for it. And I think
Emery, thank you. Yes, there's 5 of them. Yes.
Is Moisey in there?
No, I have the list right here now that you reminded me. It's Arteta, Emery, like you said, Eddie Howe, Klopp, and Postecoglou. Yeah, those are the 5 listed. So
I'll give it Postecoglou again. To be fair, we lost 3-1 to Brighton at the beginning of the month, so
undefeated again.
Or Emery.
Emery on the month is played 4, 1-3, lost 1, +5 goal differential. Michael Arteta has played 4, 1-3, drawn 1, +7 goal differential. Eddie Howe has played 4, 1-3, lost 1, +9 goal differential, but that's because that's Sheffield drubbing there. Klopp has played 4, 1-3, lost 1, +6 goal differential, and Big Ange has played 4, 1-3, drawn 1, +5. So, the numbers wise, they're not that far apart there.
On paper, it looks very good.
But at the end of the day, Michael Arteta and Ange are the only 2 in that list that did not lose a game.
I'll go Postecoglou. I've been far more impressed with you guys than Arsenal.
I just won't simply vote for Arteta because, well, 1, I hate him, and 2, I don't like his team. So,
one thing we're lucky at Spurs, I just want to get this point. Udogie, End of the season, he is going to be best left back in the Premiership. Mark my words.
I don't know yet.
Watch.
He'll be up there.
Yeah.
No,
I can't deny he'll be up there.
Yeah.
But
he'll be the best.
Not
he'll be the best.
Honorable mention goes to VAR if Ange wins. Nice ones for
I might be wrong on it, but mark my words on this one. I'm making this statement now. End of the season, he will be the best.
That's a good point here by C. Sherman here, saying that the draw that Arteta suffered was at our hands in their house, where they were supposed to bash us 5-1. So
yeah, exactly.
The God,
I'm giving it Postecoglou for me. I've been more impressed with you guys than Arsenal, considering all the hype around Arsenal. So
let's we'll go into the get into the starting 11 versus Luton here. Obviously, you know there's several players missing here. There's no Solomon, Perisic, Johnson, Bentancur, Lo Celso, Sessegnon, Madison's a maybe, Hill is a maybe, Sonny's carrying a bit of a knock. Based on all of that, Dan, what is your starting 11? Start at the goalie and go across your back line.
Well, goalkeeper and back line goes without saying.
Yeah, that pretty much all stays the same for you. Okay, so Udogie, Van de Ven, Roy,
and
Romero,
as long as Maddison's all right, I'd keep it as it is. Up front, as the striker, I would call for the I'm going to make a change here. Sorry, I'm going to take Porro out, and I'm going to take a gamble here, and I'm going to put Emerson Royale in.
Good, that's what I was going to do.
Because what I'm then going to do is have the three midfielders they are, and then I'm going to stick Porro up on the right, Gil on the left, and then stick the Argentinian fella in the middle. That's going to be the gamble I would play.
Yeah.
Because we at least know we have got some whipping balls coming in there and some good crosses coming in there. And where, like I said, he looks like a target man from what I've only seen on YouTube.
I've watched a few games. He's dominant in the air.
Yeah. And that would be perfect for someone like Porro. And then if Gil is fit enough, he's quick enough on his toes, because I don't agree with all this crap that a winger has to be built like a brick house and that. Not at all. I think he'd be perfect for coming in, and I'd pick him over Richarlison. And
I wouldn't expect anything out of Hill, but sure, give him a chance.
Go ahead, Steve. Give us your starting 11 then.
Okay. If I was Postecoglou, if I was a Spurs, I would probably your back line the same. I ain't putting no Emerson Royale in that team. Sorry. Then I go a midfield. Well, the three same as like Basuma, Sarr, Madison. Veliz. I guess. Which, oh my God, your squad. Oh, I gotta think about this. Ooh.
Oh, the bit I missed was Kulusevski.
By all means, if you want to add your starting lineup like Spurs GCTV here did, by all means, throw it in, guys.
Yeah, Kulu, sure. Why not, I guess. I mean, I'm not throwing in Emerson Royale. I'm sorry. I can't. I wouldn't. Not that I can't. I don't think
I don't like him. I just want Porro to get the balls in. And if Maddison ain't fit, then I'd stick Kulusevski behind. Kulusevski behind the striker, because I think you'll get more out of Kulusevski as an attacking midfield playmaker than you will on the wing.
Yeah.
And I've said that.
But we're going to put Madison in the middle over Kulu all day.
It's if he's injured or not. It's if he's out or not. I don't know if he's out. If Maddison's out, then I'll go and stick Kulusevski behind R1 there and then out wide. I think you'd see more of Kulusevski, but if Maddison's fit, obviously he goes there.
Yeah, every day. I just playing Emerson Royale, bro. I don't rate the guy at all.
Neither do I, but I don't rate Richarlison either. So
that's the problem.
I've actually seen Royale have a good couple of games. I haven't seen Richarlison have a good game.
You know what? Fair enough.
Man, not giving him any love. No love for him.
Fair enough.
Mate, I think he's awful. How he even plays football, I will never know. Let's just carry on. I'll stay out of it.
Yeah, I'll go with Dan.
Yeah, I've got my lineup in here. I went with Vicario, Udogie, Van de Ven, Romero, and Royal on the right. I'd like to see Højbjerg in the hold with Sarr and Kulu kind of playing in the cams in front of him, or Sarr and Højbjerg in a hold. So you do a 4-2 kind of 3-1 kind of thing with Kulu as the cam in between Richie on the left and Porro on the right with Valise in front of them.
Yeah.
So that's because I think Richie, he'll play that low ball in, and from the right, Porro has the ability to cross in. Hopefully one of them can get onto Valise's head. So that's, if we're going to rest players, we've got to look at, the only reason I've pulled Basuma from this is because of what Colin already addressed here, is that, he's a card away from a suspension. So I want to avoid that.
With Kulusevski, he only ever cuts the ball in from the left and puts it in. If you put him behind them, he's got more option where to pass the ball.
Cheers, man. I just, we right now have to kind of look at this is the game that's going into the international break, and then after that, our schedule is a little bit lighter. Then I think this is the time to kind of rest our big guns to keep our starting 11 as strong as possible, getting to January at least. Well, at least January, right? If we possibly might make additions here. See Sherman's put his in. He's saying Venom, Romero, VDV, Dogi, Basuma, Sar, Madison, Richie, Hill, Kulu, bring in Son at the 60th minute. Okay, so he's putting Richie in the striker role. Where are you putting Brian Hill there, Sherman? I'm curious. I'm assuming based off that you're gonna play him on the left, Kulu on the right. So City and Arsenal will draw 3-0 win for us and top of the table. Yeah, that'd be nice. I don't know. It's hard to say after that loss with Arsenal to Lens. Steve,
City are gonna do them. City are gonna smash them.
It's called. If you want some French pronunciation, is excellence.
Okay.
By the way, I told Arsenal.
Welcome back. Sorry. Hopefully, I was well.
All is good.
I literally told Arsenal fans that Lens are a lot better than they think. I actually watched Lens. I watched League on religiously.
Yeah, I know you do. That's why I
brought goddamn good team. They're a goddamn good team, and people say we're 15th. It's called they had a bad pass.
People look at the league and automatically write them off. Like we couldn't even beat.
Like people are doing with Chelsea.
Well,
no, but Chelsea have been crap for about a year and a half. Actually, maybe even longer. Lens were outstanding last year, and they had a rough start to this season. That's all it was.
I don't follow French league.
Bringing up the point regarding Basuma, they're saying to get a tactical yellow against Luton would make sure that he'd miss the Fulham game and be back for Crystal Palace and Chelsea. So maybe it might be a smart play for him to purposely get that.
Yeah,
Brian, we were just quickly just doing who do you think who would you like to see the starting 11 versus Luton? We'll do our goal predictions and wrap up. I know you got to get to the other show now.
Oh no, I've got an hour before the other show, so it's all good.
Oh, okay.
So my start. Anyway. What are we doing? Starting 11 against Luton.
Yeah, you're starting 11 versus Luton.
Back 5 obviously stays the same.
That was mine.
Midfield 3. It all depends on Madison, doesn't it? It really all depends on how fit is he. But
mystery solved.
Listen, the dream would be to go unchanged against Liverpool. That would be the dream. But if let's just say the two key worries we have are Son or Madison, and for this game, I think Madison might be the person that we need to pick the lock, and I'd actually give Valise a go up front. So if I had to make one change, it would be. But then you've also this is where it goes. You've also got, if it's Madison that misses out, you bring Kulu into the centre and put Porro wide and Emerson in defence.
Exactly what I said. Yeah.
So that's the. I mean. If we look at it right now on Thursday early evening, just gone afternoon here in Toronto, the two main concerns are Madders and Sonny, and that's what I do. If it's Sonny that's dropped, release in, and if it's Madders that's gone, what would you say? Kulusevski central, push Porro up, Emerson in defence.
Juventus did it for him a few times, and it worked quite nicely when Juventus did it for him.
Yeah,
that was a while ago, but I think
I know. Yeah. I think you'll get more out of him there because on the side he's so predictable where he's just cuts in with his left foot and out of nowhere 1 out of 10 he'll do something different. If you put him behind, he's got a lot more option where
Could
to
be.
pass the ball. But obviously, Madders goes in front of him. But
I think if this happens, what Colin's saying, I think if it does happen, it happens with him coming off the bench. I don't see him starting. I'll be very, put it this way, if he was starting, I'd be shocked, but very, very happy. But I just can't see him starting.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. We'll get into the last part here then, guys. The simple part, the nice and easy part. Score predictions. Chat, by all means, there's still 22 of you in here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I know a whole bunch of other channels have gone live now, and you guys might be getting bored of listening to me and trying to pretend I know what I'm talking about here, Brian. I think I did okay.
You know your stuff. You put yourself down too much. You know your stuff.
I'm fine.
Go ahead, Brian, since you missed the last little bit here. Why don't you give us your score predictions based on the lineup that you've put together? And let's see what we can do here.
3-1 Tottenham.
Oh, please throw yours in too. Sorry.
3-1 Tottenham, 2 for Richarlison. I'm sticking my neck out, like I said.
And who's going to get that third one? That if you're going to predict the 2 goals,
one of the otother 10 players. Oh, sorry, no, Vicario's not going to score. One of the 9 other players.
Very good. If that's an own goal, people feel free to clip this and come back and use it against Brian all you want. Steve.
2-1 Spurs, late winner, like 97th minute type thing.
You think they're gonna Sheffield us? Basically, just annoy the hell out of us.
Yeah, I do, because look, Luton will try to play. You guys are with the injuries. It's not ideal. And the 12:30 kickoffs. I don't know about you guys, but over the years, when I wake up at 7:30 a.m. to watch the games. And you're like half asleep, and you're like, "Why is Brentford beating Man City away?"
Well, we've got to get up even earlier because we got to be at the pub for
4:30. Yeah, for you. If you're where in Canada,
7:30 kickoff.
Oh, word.
Yeah, same time.
Yeah, the 12:30.
We got to leave the house by 6:45 to get down to the pub.
Right.
Yeah,
fair. No, the 12:30 kickoffs always throw up some wacky results. Or just games in general. I'll go 2-1, a very late Spurs winner. Romero header. There you go.
Oh, Hanno, sorry, buddy. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't think that's ever going to happen, buddy, because I tried doing a watch long and I was utterly crap. I went on to somebody else's and realized that all I did was watch the game and not actually provide any
That's why I won't do it. I'd be the same.
I don't know how guys do it. I really don't. Credit to the people that do it.
Them.
I don't have the ability to. I'm just too focused there that I completely forget what's happening here. So if you want to watch me react to watching a game, that's a different story. That I could do.
Yeah, the other problem is if I've done it with you, I'll get your page cut off of the language I use at the telly. So
trust me, I'm not much better, Dan. Obviously, you haven't seen our Saturday night show here, the adult show. Ed is big up, Ed. Good to see Vicario, Poro, Romero, VDB, Dogi, Basuma, Sarmasin, or Belize and Richardson. So he's going with the front 3, same. Okay. Jula's dropping a big 6-1 to Spurs here. Dan, what is your prediction, sir?
I'm going to agree with Steve on nearly everything. I'm going to say 2-1 Spurs. And it will be a late one because I think they're going to do exactly what basically Liverpool just did, not through their choice really, but sat back and parked a bus, and it was just by a good cross at the end that it went on. Sheffield nearly had us with it by sitting back. We still don't have the quality to break a team down overall without Maddison being fully fit. For the scorers, for me, it all just depends who's on the pitch. But I think if we go and play Kulusevski behind as the centre for when, say, Maddison has to come off after 60 minutes or he doesn't play, I think you might see a late goal out of Kulusevski.
Very nice.
The other one, it could be anyone on there. But it all depends who's playing, where they're put, and everything else for me.
Okay, so I got a 3-1, I got a 2-1, and your final score was, you said 2-1 as well, right, Dan?
Yeah.
2-2-1.
And I think they will hold us. I think they will hold us to the minute, literally, like Steve has said.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys all joining me.
Thanks for letting us on.
I think you're all full of shit, though. Get behind the boys here. Come on, 5-1.
I said you were gonna win.
Triple smacking. Yeah, but you're giving right to the 90th minute, and it's gonna be tense. And nah, man, we're gonna come out guns blazing. Valise is gonna get a hat trick.
You could. That's fair.
Valise hat trick. Richie with 1 and Poro with 1.
To be fair, has anyone blew out?
Has anyone prediction for this week? Tune in next week for another crazy prediction. Sorry, go on.
Has Luton been? I want you to answer this. Has Luton been demolished by anyone in the league this year?
Couldn't tell you, Steve. Honestly, I don't follow Luton at all. I have no idea how
they lost 4-1 to Brighton and 3-0 to Chelsea. Ever since then, they won against Gillingham 3-2. They lost 2-1 to West Ham, 1-0 to Fulham, 1-1 Wolves. They lost to Exeter, and they beat Everton away, and they lost to Burnley only by a goal. So they've been keeping it tight.
They're not conceding a lot of goals. Okay, fine.
And Steve, they're only losing by a goal.
I'll tone it down. You've convinced me. I'll tone it down. 4-1.
There you go. Fair enough.
Guys, what is going on your channels? Dan, I know you started something over on the Hotspur Hood there. I was going to say Talk Ball, the wrong one. Steve Strasburg. Steve is in the house. We got Tottenham and Tour in the house. So, Steve, what's going on over on your channel? What's going to be happening? Do I have any mods here? Geesh, I don't think. I am my own mod. Ben Kaufman, mod father, if you're still here, link for me. Let me get your link here, Steve, while you talk about what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I got obviously my boys RC Strasbourg play Nantes tomorrow at 3 p.m. my time, so I'll do a watch along for that, obviously. So there you go. That's what's going on, really. So,
okay. And Steve, you do a lot of different football. Stuff too, right? So it's not just specifically Newcastle. So, guys, if you want to get over and get a full feed of everything in the football world, I gotta say, for a young guy, this young cat here has got a wealth of knowledge that it makes me look pretty pathetic. So, although I do appreciate it, sometimes it's intimidating and he scares me. But no, it's great to see, Steve. You know, you really do know a lot about a lot of different leagues. So good for you, Dan. I'll drop Steve's link in right now. And Dan, sorry, why don't you tell us what's going on in the Hotspur Hood? What have you got going on over there? What should people look forward to seeing you over there?
Well, me and Tommy got to know each other quite well, and he's invited me to basically be a member of his page and that, which I'm very grateful for. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing my work on the Hotspur Hood with Tommy, and also he's going to be doing his own things as he does during the week, and I'm going to be doing a few of my own ones. As I started off with the first one, and main couple I'm going to do at the first thing is a couple of pre-recordings. Hopefully tomorrow afternoon I should be meeting up with TJ USA Arsenal, and he's very good.
TJ Warren, yeah. Warren. Oh, lovely guy. Lovely guy,
yeah. I've had a chat with him before, and Diamond Fella, that's why I've asked him to come and do a pre-recording with me, where we're going to have a chat about obviously how Spurs are going to do tomorrow, how Arsenal are going to do, because I want to talk about a few different things on the ones I do, not just Spurs. So I want to try and meet up with a few different people as well. So hopefully we're going to do a pre-recording at some stage in the afternoon that I'll just basically drop into it for everyone to watch when they're fit. And then as time goes on, obviously, I'll start doing a couple of my own live pages. But at the moment, Tom's the one who runs the live pages, and he's very good at it.
There you go. So, guys, everybody, links are in the chat. And last but not least, the Don Dada himself, the godfather of the 3 Spurs boys, Mr. Dagul.
Yeah, obviously, you can find me on Tottenham on Tour. Me and Ben will be going live in 45 minutes. For an hour show on the Pump Up to Shelfside Spurs, a channel of ours that we do a show for to send over to their way. Then on Friday, me and Ireland are in the studio, and we will be going live at some point. Me and Brian Ireland reunited in Toronto together, so we're going to do a show. And obviously, there will be Cockerel Doodle Doo live with Ben Kaufman and guests in the morning. And on Sunday, the one show I have committed to making sure we keep at the same time, I will be getting up at 3:30 in the morning on Sunday so I can have a coffee or 2 or 8 ready to do anger management after the Luton game at 9:15 UK time.
There you go, folks. lots of things happening on all the channels. So for your content, get on over, give these boys a sub and a like. Doesn't cost anything. I'm sure most of you already sub to each other, but help each other out. We're a big football community. Appreciate you guys taking the time to join us today here and with a little pop-up with me and Brian. Brian, thank you. Good idea. Just do a little last-minute pop-up while you're back now and do these things. So I appreciate that, guys. By all means, please hit the like button and subscribe and something about algorithms. People say I still haven't figured all that out. But, if you can do that. And, of course, right at the last second, he decides to pop in. And big up to you, Patty, even though I hate you. The most hated Irishman in the world. I absolutely despise this guy. My kids absolutely love him. Makes me sick. In a good way, though. Love you, Patty. And that's it. So there's times you'd be getting into bed at 3:30. No kidding, Colin. I think those days are long behind most of us. Maybe Steve and Dan can still handle it. They're a little bit younger than us, but I know the days of me coming home at 3:30 a.m. are far.
I'm 42, gone. For God's sake, mate.
You're younger than me.
This is where my jet lag not coming off and still being here is actually being a benefit to me. So I'm hoping it's all good
for now. Let's see how you are in 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But thank you again, guys. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you, everybody in the chat for joining us today.
For letting us on, mate.
The show. And we will be back Saturday night with Kuv and the Kang. We're going to be doing a back-to-back episode this week. Next week, I won't be able to do a show. So we'll be back Saturday night with your Saturday night shenanigans and a little bit of adult content there where we just kind of let loose, have a drink, and just try to have a laugh. So hope all of you enjoy your day. God bless. And
see you later, everyone.
Come on, before we go.
And as always,
hold on. Wait. We'll give you the. Here you go. All yours.
And as always, Levy out.
We sang in France, we sang in Spain, we sing in the sun and we sing in the rain. They tried to stop us, but they did. The thing that we must is being a kid, being a kid, being a kid. The thing that we must is being a kid.
Come on, you Spurs!
Make sure to like and subscribe.